What's going on, guys? Ki11er Six back with my base game MOZE build, and this time it's going to be nice, quick, and easy because MOZE is really good without any DLC content. She's really good with all the base game stuff that you have. So let's quickly jump into all the stuff that we're going to use on this character, starting with the weapons and gear. Up first, we got the Roizen's Thorn. This thing got buffed a while back. It is so good on MOZE. Splash damage for days, consecutive hits. Now this one is a double penetrating, which is ×2, which means it consumes 2 ammo per shot. Unfortunately, that's not working as intended right now. That said, I went in and just kept this one anyhow because ammo is not an issue for MOZE at all. And if they ever did fix the double penetrating, the ×2 version on this thing, then you would have it on this save file. So that's why that's there. Up next, we got the Boomsicle. This thing is so good. I love this thing, man. If you've never seen the Boomsicle, you're in for a treat here in a minute. We also got the Unending Magnificent, another gun that got buffed recently. If you haven't already, watch my item guide on that. This thing is crazy good. You want to be on the lookout when you go farming for the Magnificent. If you do want to go farm from one, make sure you get the one that has the extra barrel with the double barrel attachment on it. And if you can, do like I did here and find the one that is ×2, because even without switching it to the under barrel mode, you're going to get that ×2 damage on the base version of this gun, and it's very strong. This gun can come in fire and corrosive. I've got both of those on here. Unfortunately, my corrosive one is not a ×2. I did not find a ×2 version of that, but they're both on here. They're both really good. We've got the Ki11er. Now I got the Ki11er in radiation and shock. We've got cryo and radiation, and then we've got fire and radiation. In terms of the shields, we're using transformer shields. Now I've got one with after action skill in shock damage for 10 seconds, one with action skill incendiary, and one with action skill in corrosive. So you have options there. I'm going to leave it on the shock one because we're going to get lots of fire and corrosive damage from the weapons that we're using. In terms of the class mod for mobbing, I'm going to use Blastmaster for bosses, especially large stationary bosses. I'm going to swap to the Minesweeper. The Minesweeper is going to drop a lot of micro grenades on enemies. That's what, if you saw my video where I just destroy Hemovorus and Vermivorous, it's because I was using the Minesweeper with MOZE, and it just does work. In terms of the grenade, we got the Cloning Maddening Tracker. Now, the one that I am going to use almost exclusively is the level 65 No Mayhem on the grenade version. However, I have included this Mayhem 10 version on here in case you want to play around with that. The reason I use the non-Mayhem one is so that I'm less likely to kill myself with my own grenade. Whereas the Mayhem 10 version, you are likely to blow yourself up with that. In terms of the artifact, not a whole lot of great base game artifacts, unfortunately. The Victory Rush is definitely the best of the bunch when it works. However, right now it's glitched. You've heard me say that every single one of these videos so far. For MOZE, I'm going to use this Berserker Victory Rush just because it has area of effect damage and corrosive damage on it. I do also have a safeguard where you can slam and make a bubble for yourself, and that bubble will reduce incoming damage by 57% for 5 seconds. Not the best thing in the world, but it's an option. We've also got the auto idle on here. This one's a Snowdrift auto idle, so you can zip around the map really quickly. Did not get great rolls on the bottom of this one, but auto idle will restore 23% of your max health when you kill an enemy. We got a Snowdrift Victory Rush. Again, Victory Rush isn't working great, and I don't have a lot of really good skills at the bottom of this one in my opinion. And then we got a Cutpurse launch pad. This is level 60 Cutpurse launch pad, so it only will steal 10% of enemy ammo instead of 11 at the max level one. With MOZE and with this build, you shouldn't need a Cutpurse at all. So let's take a look at the other gear that we've got. We've got some Lenoges in here. I can't escape this damn gun, but the reason we got the Lenoge, it is a very, very good base game gun. This thing will do a lot of damage for you. So I've included that on here. We've got the Hellshock. The Hellshock is vastly underrated as a pistol in this game. It's very good. We got the Magnificent. We already kind of talked about that. The Ki11er we kind of talked about. We got an EMP5 just so you can put this thing on and zip across maps. If you need to get somewhere fast, like you need to go way across the map, put on the EMP5 and put on the Snowdrift, and you're going to get there really quick just by holding this gun in your hand. We got the Adapting Chaosin with consecutive hits. This is another gun that's very underrated. I don't see a lot of people use it, but it's very strong. We got the Saw Bar. If you get the range right on this thing, it can do some serious work. Got another Boomsicle. This one is non-elemental in case you want to use that. We got the Ogre. Ogre is also underrated, and the Ogre does pretty good splash damage for MOZE. Consecutive hits on this one. Got the Corrosive Super Shredder Fire. Those of you guys that watched my Assault Rifle MOZE playthrough, you saw me get this live and saw me begin to freak out because this thing is super ass rare. Getting one with element on it and getting the ×2, which means an extra shot per shot, and also being a super shred of fire. It's super rare. It's a very rare thing to get, but it's on this build if you need it. And then the guns that I know everybody's gonna be like, well, that's all you need is the Monarch. Yeah, well, they're on there. I just don't usually use them with this base game MOZE, but if you want them, they're there for you. Make sure you swap this thing into bipod mode. That's where you get all your damage from. It does also make you move slow and makes you so you can't jump. If you are having trouble keeping your health up, I have included 2 versions of the hail, both of them consecutive hits, one in fire, one in shock. Put these things on, shoot enemies with it. It keeps your health up non-stop, just in case you're having troubles with that. But I'm going to tell you another way to go about keeping your health up as you watch me play here in a moment. Got the Ki11er eruption. Whenever you go to reload this thing, it shoots out little beams of whatever they are. They hit an enemy, that debuffs the enemy, and that allows you to do more damage to them. And I rolled this one at the anointment reroll machine to have the railgun damage. So realistically, what you could do is you could put this thing on, make it so that you're about to reload it as you jump into Iron Bear, and it's going to debuff enemies for you while you're in Iron Bear, and you're going to do some stupid damage there. Also got this other super shred of fire. This one's non-elemental. Got the reflux. Reflux is just great all around. Got a buff recently. We got the Trevinator. Trevinator is so damn good, and it's so damn good on this build because of all the splash damage you can do with it. We got the Flacker, vastly underrated. After it got nerfed, it got brought back up. People don't seem to realize that they re-increased the mag size on this thing, so it's back to almost exactly where it was at launch. It's very good. We got the Tiggs Boom, another vastly underrated gun. This thing can absolutely wreck, especially on MOZE. We got the Lob, another gun that people have completely forgotten about, but it's so good. This one I rolled with action skill and splash damage. We got the Hellwalker on here. Don't need it with this build, but it's on here. And then we got some rocket launchers for you, back burners, Globetrotter, and also we got a Lyuda on here. MOZE can take the best advantage of the Lyuda with the mag size increase to it, because she can basically keep the ammo up non-stop on that thing. All right, with that, let's take a look at the skill tree. Blue tree, this is nothing out of the ordinary. If you guys have seen any of my MOZE builds, this is pretty much standard procedure for me at this point. I have put points in explosive punctuation. I could have put them up here in deadlines or grizzled. It doesn't really matter. Just needed to get to that capstone. It's all about the fire and the Skagdin. This thing does crazy damage. We've got stainless steel bear, which boosts that. We've got means of destruction for splash damage, ammo regen, which just more ammo regen. We got auto bear, so whenever we hop out of Iron Bear, it'll hang out for a while. We got pull the holy pin. This gives you crit damage on your grenades. This is vampire. When you throw your cloning maddening trackers, it just needs to hit enemies, and cloning maddening tracker hits a lot, and that restores a lot of your health for you. We got to the last, so you can throw grenades and fight for your life, and short fuse, which does tons of splash damage. Normally on my MOZE builds, I will run double Vanquisher rocket pads, but on this one we're going to do something a little bit different. Taking a look at the red tree, we went fire of an armored infantry to give us some damage reduction in gun damage whenever our shields are full. We got drowning in brass. This is fire rate reduction, but it also gives you gun damage increase. The fire rate reduction isn't going to be that bad. It's negative 2.5 per stack, and the maximum stacks you can get is 3. So it's not going to be that dramatic of a fire rate reduction, but the gun damage is going to jump up to 60%, so it's very much worth that trade-off. We got 1 point in experimental munitions, so whenever I score a critical hit, I deal bonus incendiary damage, and we're rocking double capacitive armature. This is very strong. Basically, hop out of Iron Bear and let it do all the work for you if you want. Also, by hopping out of Iron Bear, you trigger all your action skill and anointments. In terms of the green tree, I went bottomless mags. I know you don't have to go all the way down here, but I want to. I want to keep my ammo up all the time. If by some chance I do drop down to a low end of my magazine, I'm going to get click procking, which gives me even more gun damage. We got 5 in Iron Bank, which gives us mag size increase. We got Specialist Bear, so since we're rocking double capacitive armature, I'm getting an extra 60% damage on my Iron Bear. We got 4 in Scorching RPMs. This gives us more fire rate, critical damage, and Iron Bear damage. We got Russian Offensive, so that we get life steal whenever we're shooting enemies while we're moving. This also works if you're using a hex grenade. If you can't get the cloning maddening tracker and you can get a good hex grenade, make sure you use this skill, because you can throw your grenade and then run, and the hex grenade will actually trigger the effects of this life steal. just so you know. We got 3 in Stoke the Embers, that gives us more incendiary damage. We got redistribution plus our class mod gives us a bonus point in there, which gives us more ammo regeneration and some health regeneration as well. And then we got Scrappy, only a couple points in this, but it gives us some extra weapon damage handling, weapon swap speed, and mode switch speed, just in case we're swapping modes on our weapons. And Cloud of Lead, so that occasionally my shots will do additional incendiary damage and will not consume ammo, just even more ways to keep your ammo up. And nothing in the purple tree because this is a base game build. All right, with that, let's go kill stuff. As you can see, one shot that little son of a bitch. The Roizen's Thorn is so good right now, man. I don't see anybody using it, and it is a damn shame because it is so good. Let's take advantage of our Kib's Worth, because I want to show you guys something about the Kib's Worth. We were talking about ways that you can keep your health up on MOZE, and I don't see anybody ever seem to mention that the Kib's Worth gives you healing circles. Here we go. All right, so while we're standing in this circle, watch, we'll let people shoot us, and look how quickly it heals me. It's essentially like its own grog nozzle, this circle is. But as you can see, this does crazy work. All right, now we're gonna, let's tell you what, let's use the boomsicle here. I love the boomsicle. Let's throw a couple grenades. And we're just going to shoot the Kraken with the boomsicle. Of course, the people are going to run right in front of me. Yep, naturally. But Kraken down, that's all there is to it, man. This build is fun, dude. Now, here's the Magnificent. All right, this is the double barrel mode. So as you can see, this thing goes lightning fast. If you're using this gun, now this is fire on armor right here. So keep that in mind. But if you're using this gun on big bosses, make sure you put on the Minesweeper class mod, because the Minesweeper with this many bullets hitting a crit spot equals a lot of damage, dude, because it's going to drop a ton of micro grenades. But this build's really strong, just like the base game Flak, the base game Amara, base game Zane. They're all extremely viable without any DLC content. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't seem to realize about all the Vault Hunters. They're all really good without needing DLC stuff. So let's take on these dudes. Let's throw on the hail so you guys can see the healing abilities of the hail. The hail does shoot in this arcing pattern, so keep that in mind when you're shooting this thing. It's not going to shoot like in a straight line. And as you see, that did some work there. Super Strike Fire, let's put it in double chain gun mode. Just going to hop in and out of Iron Bear real quick. Don't really need to, I just wanted to, I guess. All right, we're just going to put a bunch of ammo on this guy real quick. As you can see, with this build, you almost have to try to run out of ammo. This thing goes through ammo quick, and we were able to like stay in our ammo pretty good there. All right, so this is corrosive versus flesh, not super ideal. And you gotta remember to throw those grenades, otherwise you don't stay alive. And this is a shock hail versus armor. You can see this thing, the hail got a huge buff a while back, and that's why it's so good for damage too. It's also great for healing, man. So you got that thing going and somebody doesn't Mr. President right on you, then you're going to keep your health up really well. Plus you can do a lot of damage with this thing too. So make sure you get this thing obviously in all the different elements that you need, and learn how to aim it properly, because once you get that down, you should be golden. I've had a lot of people ask me why I don't use torque cross promotion. It's because I 100% of the time blow myself up with torque cross promotion. The play style that I play with, where I'm like up close and personal with enemies a lot, I tend to like really mess myself up. All right, so one of the things I haven't talked about yet was Iron Bear and how well Iron Bear can do damage. So let's actually hop out. We're gonna let Iron Bear take a shot at this guy here, because we got Auto Bear. So he's gonna blast this guy, and boom, he's gonna go away. Now Iron Bear, after a while, it will try and like jump and hit somebody. And I don't know if you saw that, but he like wiped out 3 of the dudes with one shot right there. He hit him so hard that the dude's already dropped down here. So yeah, Iron Bear is really good with this build as well. If you want, you can go with my MOZE 7.0 approach, where I use the double Vanquisher pods, but these other things work great. And apparently Iron Bear killed this other Valkyrie when I wasn't even paying attention. So yeah, man, this build's really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, oh, you know what? I'm going to take that. Look at that. Icebreaker Auto Idle. Okay, we'll throw that on the build too. Why not? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, tap the bell icon for more. Let me know what your favorite base game items are in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.